Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to bring you this report. Folks, this is huge. I'm using basic demographics to completely dispel the BLM narrative on a question that was voted on in Minneapolis. Okay, now, before I get into that real quick, go to lumberjacklogicshow.com, minimally register your email address so we can always stay in touch, but you can also get some really super cool merchandise, all right? Anyways, it's one of the ways that we keep this show going. And thanks so much for that. And I love you folks. Okay, the other thing, subscribe to the show if you haven't. And hit that notification bell. All right, real quickly, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to show you a map here. I want you to look at this. This is on Minneapolis question 2. Okay, Minneapolis question 2 is about defunding the police. Now, sadly, we had almost 44% wanting to defund the police. We had 56% vote no. So it did pass. Okay, the main thing is that, they weren't defunding the police. Now, I've talked to people on the Minneapolis Police Department. I've been stopped by Minneapolis cops. I've had dealings with them. Okay, I actually was hauled into the Hootskow once. I could go on over a parking ticket, all this kind of stuff. But the bottom line is we need policing, and we actually need active policing, because Minneapolis crime rate used to be low, but that was when they had active policing. And if you want to get guns off the streets, you need active policing. You need traffic stops, because that's how you find the illegal guns. And I am all pro Second Amendment, but the bottom line is, if we've got convicted felons who are guilty of serious crimes, they shouldn't be owning this unless they've gone through maybe some sort of complete program. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But the bottom line is the dealers and the different people who are causing these high crimes, we need to get the guns out of their hands. Now, if you look at this map, here's what I want to show you. This here, and this is going to be important for this analysis. This right here is North Minneapolis, what's called North Minneapolis. Over here is Northeast Minneapolis. This area here, okay, with the darkest green is the University of Minnesota, and then also I think it's Augsburg College is right down here. And then down here, this is Powderhorn Park, okay? Now, a couple things of note. First off, Powderhorn Park is where they had women being assaulted and it not even being reported to the police, because they were going to just not report those things. They were going to allow that crime to happen to virtue signal their white goodness, okay? Because what you need to understand as you look at this, we're going to get into some demographics of these areas. I want you to go, Powderhorn Park is 57%, look at this, 57% white, only 17% black. Now, you need to understand that Minneapolis as a whole is 64% white, 19% black, okay? So, as a whole, it's a fairly white city. But this area, okay, that voted overwhelmingly to defund the police, okay, is white. North Minneapolis, 54% black, okay, 15% white, and then other races. Okay, now here, this is Northeast Minneapolis, okay? And you can look here at Northeast Minneapolis, and we've got almost 70% white. Oh, and they voted to defund the police. Okay, now watch, this is something really interesting as well. I'm going to go through some median incomes for you. In North Minneapolis, it's only $41,000, okay? If we go to Northeast Minneapolis, it's 66,000, and we're at 62,000 in Powderhorn Park, and actually the average household income there is 75,000. So we're dealing with upper, middle income white liberals who are all voting to defund the police, and in the blackest, poorest neighborhoods, they're not voting to defund the police. Okay, are you getting this? We have virtue signaling white liberals who, look, if you talk to the police down there, they're not so concerned about the black population. That's not the toughest for them to deal with. The ones that are coming up yelling Effenheimers in their face and getting all nasty on them are college chicks, white college chicks. Okay, I know there's the Patrice Cullors or Colliers or whatever who buys multi-million-dollar homes off her money made from Black Lives Matter and all that kind of stuff. But those people are they're just part of the rich white liberal crowd. Let's be real. I lived in the inner city. I played basketball in the inner city. I lived right on the Midway. I lived off of Hague Avenue and Eaglehart and Arundel. And for those who don't know, I mean, it's just, it's the Midway between Minneapolis and St. Paul. And there's an interesting story there. There's an event called Old Rondo Days, Well, there used to be a tremendously successful black business neighborhood, the Rondo neighborhood. And then what they did during the time of Democrats in power and a bunch of white Democrats, they ran the freeway right through the Rondo neighborhood, split it up, it never recovered, okay? They need to keep blacks in poverty, and then they need to use the false narrative of, hey, we're going to help you out, we're going to provide you this assistance because you can't make it on your own because you're so oppressed. And the very oppressors are the very people telling them that they need the money to keep them in those very chains of oppression. It is a sick, sick deal. And they are using this Black Lives Matter to propagate that further. It's sad, it's sick, it's pathetic. But that's what we have going on, folks. So we have, I just showed you the breakdown of the demographics. Okay, so we had Powderhorn, Northeast, and North. Okay, and I could go into it more. Actually, I want you to take one more look at this. If you look here on this map, I'm going to circle this area. This is University of Minnesota, okay, where you have all the virtue signaling college kids who are like, oh, yes, Black Lives Matter. We got to defund the police. Okay, and they've got that whole thing going on there, and that is the strongest voting bloc against it, and also Augsburg College is right there. So this is what we're dealing with, folks. 43.83% yes, 56% no. Yes, it's a pretty, you could say, well, that's pretty resounding. You're dealing with 6 and you're 12% on that. That's only 12% on an issue that should basically be 90-10 because there's always 10% screwballs out there no matter what you do. Okay, but this is the message you folks need to get out. All right, we need to come together as people. All right, seriously. Okay, let's just all be realistic about things. We all want to enjoy the same things: freedom, prosperity, and actually, we don't want to be hassled by cops. But again, we need protection. Part of that protection is sometimes you might feel a little hassle. I mean, I get stopped at traffic stops all the time. Okay, I'm a white guy. I get stopped multiple times. I've got a little bit of a lead foot. You know what I do? Here, I'm going to give you a word of advice on handling police. When you are speeding, okay, you're speeding. Come on. Okay, so you're speeding and you're going this way and you see a cop going the other way. As soon as they start slowing down, just pull over. They don't even have to turn around. Don't make them turn around and turn lights on. Just pull over. And then if it's at night, I'm going to give you another word of advice. Turn on your lights, okay? Get your ID and insurance information. Have those up. Have your hands, where they can be seen. So I always just hold my hand out the window with my license and registration so they can come up. My lights are on so they can see inside the car. It's a dangerous job, man. Show them some respect, okay? And then I just have the other hand on the steering wheel, palm open, because I heard the story one time about somebody who hid a knife in the palm of their hand on their steering wheel, okay? I don't want the cops thinking I'm any threat to them at all, okay? It's just not where I want to be. I don't want to get into that situation, okay? This is common sense, okay? And we need active policing to get the bad guys, get the guns out of their hands and that type of thing. It's very important, folks, okay, that we have active policing, that the businesses can operate and that they have some modicum of security so that they can provide products at the right prices. Otherwise, they're just going to end up paying more. And having lived in those neighborhoods, a lot of the people, especially the older people in those neighborhoods, don't have cars. They need to be able to walk to those stores and get their food, okay? It's important, all right? Safe neighborhoods are important. Now, I hear a lot of people talk about, the police are bad and everything. No, the police have a job to do, okay? Help them do their job. And, if we ever turn into Australia, of course, we're going to have other issues, all right? But fortunately, we still have our Second Amendment. You never give that up, folks, all right? Hey, I want to thank you so much for listening to Lumberjack Logic. Again, subscribe if you have not. Go to lumberjacklogicshow.com. Get yourself some of the cool merch, and you can also hit mypillow.com, promo code Lumberjack, and save up to 66%. Those towels, they are the thirstiest, thickest, luscious towels. And those glorious Giza sheets, you will never go back, folks, okay? Promo code Lumberjack, save up to 66% at mypillow.com. Thanks so much for watching Lumberjack Logic Show. I love y'all. Peace out. Links are all below. Follow me on some other platforms, all right?